Have you ever said something in the heat of the moment and instantly wished you could just pull the words right back out of the air? Yeah, we've all been there. It's that flash of anger, that defensive comeback, that split-second decision that ends up creating way more problems than it solves. Today, we're diving into a really powerful idea that can totally change how you navigate life's challenges. The crucial difference between reacting impulsively and responding thoughtfully.
Okay, let's break this down. On one side, you've got reacting. It's totally impulsive, it's driven purely by emotion, and man, it almost always leads to regret. It's that knee-jerk, fight-or-flight instinct just taking the wheel. But on the other side, we have responding. This is thoughtful, it's controlled, and it's constructive. It's all about taking that one extra breath to choose your words, to choose your actions, and to turn a potential fire into a moment of real understanding.
So, just take a second and be honest with yourself. When you feel criticized, when you feel attacked, what's your go-to? Do you lash out or do you pause? Just recognizing your own pattern, that right there is the very first step toward making a change.
So first up, we're going to really pull apart this fundamental difference. Because, understanding the distinction between reacting and responding, it isn't just about being polite. As our source material explains, it's pretty much the core formula for cutting down on the stress and conflict in your life.
Next, we're going to tackle the big question. Why do we get so defensive in the first place? We're going to look at the deep-seated psychological reasons that make us take comments and criticisms so much to heart, which, of course, leads to those reactions we wish we could take back.
Let's frame this next part with this question, right? When somebody's words hit a nerve, is it really about them, or are they just pushing a button that was already there inside of us? The answer? Well, it's a little more complicated than you might think.
Look, our defensiveness doesn't just come out of nowhere. It's got roots. It's often fueled by our past experiences shaping how we see the present. It's completely tied to our self-image and our deepest insecurities. It's also driven by this powerful, often subconscious, need to be liked. And sometimes a simple criticism can feel, on a primal level, like an attack on our very existence.
Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? This is where we introduce a really powerful, practical framework for building what you might call emotional intelligence or self-defense. It's called the SHIELD method.
The SHIELD method is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a form of emotional armor. It's a system, a tool, designed to give you the space you need to turn that impulsive, fiery reaction into a thoughtful, controlled response. It's really about taking back your power in any given conversation.
The SHIELD method is actually an acronym. It stands for 6 clear, actionable steps that can guide you away from that emotional reactivity and toward a conscious response. So let's walk through them one by one. Here's the roadmap. SHIELD. Separate, hear, interpret, evaluate, let go, and decide. See how each step kind of builds on the last one? It creates this whole process for handling those tough conversations. So let's break them down.
All right, the first step is S, for separate. This is huge. The key here is to remember that when someone says something harsh or critical, it's almost always a reflection of their own stuff, their pain, their stress, their insecurity. Separating their behavior from your identity is your first line of defense. You are not their words. Their actions are about what's going on inside them, not about your inherent worth.
Next up, H is for hear. And this quote, wow, it just nails it. The problem is so rarely about the actual words that were said, but all about how we interpret them. We often listen with our defenses already firing, just waiting to twist any comment into an attack. The goal here is to truly hear the words, without that filter of our own bias. Don't plan your comeback, just listen.
So once you've really heard them, it's time for step 3, I for interpret. This is a game changer. Instead of asking, why are they attacking me, you shift to asking, what might be going on with them to make them say this? Are they stressed, scared, insecure? Looking for the psychology behind the words totally depersonalizes the comment and, surprisingly, can even build a little empathy.
Step 4 is E, for evaluate. Now it's time for a moment of really honest self-reflection. Ask yourself, is there maybe a little nugget of truth in here that I could learn from? Or is this person's comment 100% about their own baggage?
Evaluating the criticism with a calm mind lets you take what's useful and just toss the rest, without all the emotional drama.
The fifth step, L, stands for let go. And honestly, this might be the most freeing step of them all. We are so conditioned to seek approval, to want everyone to like us. But that need makes us incredibly vulnerable. Letting go of the need for constant validation from the outside world gives you this incredible inner stability and freedom. Your peace doesn't have to depend on what someone else thinks.
And finally, we arrive at D, for decide. After you've done the work, you've separated, heard, interpreted, evaluated, and let go, you are in a position of real power. You're no longer reacting on autopilot. You are consciously deciding how to respond. This is where you become the author of your actions and choose a path that feels wise, constructive, and true to who you want to be.
Okay, so the theory is great, right? But how do we actually weave this into our daily lives, especially when we're under pressure? Let's look at some practical exercises from our source material to help make the SHIELD method feel like second nature.
Here's your toolkit. If you're unsure what someone means, just ask for clarity instead of jumping to the worst-case scenario. Identify your personal triggers so you know what sets you off and why. Create a personal mantra, something simple like, I am calm, or this isn't about me, to ground yourself in that moment. Actively work to separate emotion from fact, to see the situation for what it is, and above all, prioritize your inner peace and practice constant self-awareness. It's a muscle you have to build.
So as we wrap this up, it's really important to see the SHIELD method as more than just a technique to avoid arguments. It's a fundamental shift in how you experience the world and your own place in it.
You know, mastering this shift is truly transformative. You move from being a victim, just getting tossed around by other people's words and moods, to becoming the master of your own emotional and mental state. And that's where the good stuff is. It leads to stronger relationships, deeper self-respect, and a profound sense of inner peace.
Ultimately, every single interaction gives you a choice. You are holding the pen. So what story will you choose to write? One of impulsive reactions and regrets, or one of thoughtful responses, strength, and self-mastery? The choice always is yours.